Greetings, friends. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Jamie Braun, the leader of the Salvation Army in British Columbia. And it's my pleasure to be able to join you today for the virtual Kettle kickoff in Nanaimo. This Christmas will probably be very different than any other one we've ever experienced before. For us in the Salvation Army, we know that demand will be increasing, and yet also our usual kettles that we have out in stores and malls might be difficult this year given the pandemic that we're in the midst of. And so we're trying to be innovative and creative and allow you new ways to help us and support us. And so it's a really exciting day, this virtual Kettle kickoff in Nanaimo, British Columbia. I want to thank you in advance for your generosity and your support of the Salvation Army as we continue to help people and give hope today and every day. Thanks so much, and God bless.
Hello everyone. I want to welcome you as the Mayor of Nanaimo to the Salvation Army Kettle Kickoff Luncheon, unlike any other we've participated in throughout the history of this great campaign. I want to recognize we are all gathered on the traditional territory of the Sinixt First Nation. And some of you will be eating this lunch one day and some another, some of you in your homes, some of you with small groups in your workplace. But wherever you are, I'm sincerely grateful that so many of you choose to participate and support the Sally Ann Kettle Drive. All of us are so conscious of the needs in our community. We see it quite literally in our streets every day. And as the Salvation Army lives and breathes hope in its work day after day, they also have to deal with the reality of how we are living today, not tomorrow. And today, and the day after, and the day after that, the needs of this community are going to continue to be there. And the work of the Salvation Army and your contribution make the lives of so many so much better. As we approach the Christmas season, a Christmas like no other, I think we're all conscious that it's not going to be the kind of Christmas we hope for. But for those who are truly in need, those who are suffering, those who face incredible challenges, try and imagine what life is like for them. Without the Salvation Army, those lives would be immeasurably worse. And so all of you, I ask you, please dig deep, come out, participate, take on a kettle shift. I'll always find it to be great fun. It's a wonderful way to meet people, to sense the joy of giving and sharing that is at the heart of this community. Faith and labor, the city's motto. Let us all work together to show that we have faith in one another, faith in humanity, and faith in the ability of the Salvation Army to once again conduct a successful campaign, and that depends on you. So thank you, get out, do your part, give generously.
Hello Nanaimo, Ladysmith. It's Paul Manley, your Member of Parliament. This has been a really difficult year for a lot of people with COVID-19. People are suffering from economic stress and the stress of worrying about their health. And our social service agencies have stepped up to the challenge and have been working overtime to help people out. Whether that's our homeless population, whether that's seniors who are isolated, or families that are having a really hard time making ends meet. Our social service agencies are up for the task and working really hard. This is the time of year when the Salvation Army launches their Kettle campaign. And we're not doing it in a big public way down at the convention center this year, but we have to do it virtually. And I want to just ask you that when you're out in the community and you see that kettle, please give generously, because the Salvation Army is there to help those that need help in our communities. Thank you.
We are now at the virtual Hope Box celebrations, and we are very excited to have Rob and Sarah here from Living Forest to give us a check donation. I'm going to let them just say a few words as to what they've done for the year.
Yeah, we've every year our cafe on site, our profits all go to charity, and for many years one of those charities has been the Salvation Army. We'd like to recognize all of the great work that they do here in our community and in other communities, but for this one here in Nanaimo. And so we did pass a check for $7,500 for the Salvation Army.
That is so exciting. Thank you guys so much, and this will be well used in our community for this year. Thank you. Hi, I'm here this afternoon with gentlemen from the Nanaimo Firefighters, and I'm going to let them give you the full name as they are presenting to us today. Matt, on to you.
The Nanaimo Firefighters Charitable Society would like to make a donation of $1,500 to the Salvation Army.
We'd like to thank our community donors once again. Living Forest Campground and Nanaimo Professional Firefighters Charitable Society are just two of the many donors who support us. The Salvation Army would like to give a huge thank you to Rob By and his team at 102.3 The Wave and 106.9 The Wolf radio stations for being our media sponsor for our 2020 Kettle campaign. With your generous support, we are able to reach so many people. Thank you for what you do in our community. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for our Kettle campaign kickoff, Mrs. Jennifer Van Steenbergen. Jen was born on Vancouver Island, but currently resides in landlocked Alberta. She primarily works as an administrator and organizer for various nonprofits, and in her spare times, speaks at events to audiences of all kinds. She has obtained her Master's of Divinity from Taylor Seminary in Edmonton and is passionate about living a life of purpose and intentionality. Jen has been married to her husband Doug for 5 years and has 2 large dogs and a cat. She takes every chance she gets to go near, in, or around the ocean and relishes the opportunity to surf or play some volleyball. She flourishes with one-on-one time with friends and family, operates on coffee and laughter, and is thankful for every moment she can spend outside. With no further ado, Jen Van Steenbergen.
Welcome to the 2020 Salvation Army Kettle Kickoff. My name is Jen Van Steenbergen, and I am delighted for you to join us today. I'm actually really excited that you are here. I mean, we're not physically in the room together, but we're still here with one another. Even though we couldn't eat our lunch around a table, you had your lunch delivered either to your home or to your business, and you sat down and you decided it is time to click the link to hear this incredible, inspirational message. No pressure to me, right? No, but in all honesty, I'm really excited to share with you guys today. Because all I've been hearing about for the past 8 or 9 months is the reason we have had to go virtual. COVID. That word has completely infiltrated every conversation I have. It has infiltrated my thoughts. It affects how I act, how I interact with people around me and the world around me. It is everywhere. In fact, when I think back to the beginning of 2020 and I think about the New Year's resolutions I had, the goals I had, the plans I had, I can't help but stand here and think, man, none of those happened. Not even one. In fact, I've had to change them all. Because when COVID hit us here in Canada in March, it was like we ran into a wall. We had to we had to change how we did life. And that took everything that we had planned and turned it on its head. I look back these last few months and I can't help but wish that they didn't happen, or wish that the next few months would just get over with so we can try again in 2021. Because it feels like 2020 has taken quite a bit from us. It took our ability to travel, to interact with family and friends in a way that we usually do. It has actually taken some of our family and friends. It has taken some of our abilities to work, and has taken how we work and our routines of life. It just feels like it took a lot. So as I was thinking about the message that I wanted to share with you today, the main thing that just kept going through my head was, what if we finished strong and stopped worrying about what it has taken from us and instead replace it with, what can we give to each other in 2020? As we enter into the last few months of the year, what can we do to not make this year a write-off? To come together alongside one another as humanity and give something. So today I want to talk not about what has been taken, but about one thing particularly that we can give, and that's hope. You see, hope is an essential part of life. Although, ironically, we're not born with it. It's not something that you're born into this world and you're like, I understand what hope is. That's not how it works. It's also not something that we're taught in school. It's not something that can be taught in school. We can talk about it in school, but truly knowing and understanding hope is not part of our curriculum. We do get glimpses of hope in our lives. When we hear a story from someone else's life and they share with us their exchange and their experience of hope, that's a glimpse. We also get glimpses when we watch some movies and we see an interaction between two people and we see that the result is an added hope to one of their lives. We sometimes get glimpses by reading articles and books and even advertisements on TV or now social media. We get glimpses of what hope looks like. But those glimpses and talking about it, that's not knowing hope. So, where do we find hope? Where does it come from? What's the source? Different people have different sources of hope. For some, their source of hope is God. They know that by placing their hope in God, that He is in control and that at the end of the day, He is their source of peace, of joy, and of rest. For others, their hope is in a different religion or spiritual practice that they go to and practice consistently that gives them that sense of security and continuity in their life. For some, that source of hope is in their friends or family. The people that are speaking positively and encouraging them to keep taking steps of faith and taking risks, but knowing that they're there if something fails. And lastly, some people have a hope in humanity. At the end of the day, really trusting that we're going to get it right. Unfortunately, not everyone is exposed to these sources of hope. There are people who are born into our world, that are born into families and situations that don't get to experience what hope means. That when life hits them hard, that's it. Just deal with it. They don't get to understand and participate in the exchange of a giving of hope. You see, when there is no hope, when there is a hopelessness, there is something missing. And that's because that hope, like I said, is essential. It's powerful. You see, hope is a place where we're able to find rest when our minds and our souls are so tired from running. Hope is a place where we're able to find joy when we look around and all we see are things that are sad and frustrating and angering to us. We can find joy in hope. Hope is a place where we are actually able to see a future. Instead of sitting there and wondering if tomorrow will ever come, hope gives us tomorrow. And hope is that place where even though the whole world seems dark, it shows us that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And it gives us the courage and the strength to take that step forward. That powerful hope can change lives. It's not a coincidence that the box that you're eating your lunch out of right now is called the Hope Box. It's also not a mistake that the Salvation Army's downtown building is called the Hope Center. And it's not by chance that the Global Salvation Army's tagline is giving hope today. You see, the Salvation Army understands the power of hope, and they understand the impact that hope can have on someone's life. They believe in being a vessel of hope, and that vessel can take place in different situations, whether it's giving meals out, or walking alongside someone in a counseling session, or providing housing, or other services. They want to be that vessel of hope, but they also know that they can't do it alone. And that's why we come to you this year. You see, Christmas season is a very special season. It's a season where we share with family and friends and where we give. But for some people, they don't get to have that sharing of family and friends, and it's actually a really hard season for them. It can sometimes magnify the areas of their life that they feel are hopeless. So at Kettle season, when you see the red shield and the clear ball underneath for collecting money, this is the Salvation Army's vessel of hope, one of their vessels. So how can you help? How can you give hope this season if giving hope is what I'm asking you to do? Well, I think that when you do the kettles, when you work a kettle for a 3-hour session, you actually give hope in 2 ways. Firstly, you're helping the Salvation Army raise funds. Those programs that they offer in downtown Nanaimo are not free, and they need to be funded. So, by standing at a kettle, you're allowing funds to come in for that. This year, the Salvation Army anticipates a 30% increase in clientele due to COVID-19. People have lost their jobs, have lost family members, households and family structures have been shaken. And so they will need that additional support. They're anticipating serving over 120,000 meals just in the Christmas season alone. So you helping them raise funds is one way of giving hope. The second way is a little sneaky. When you are working a kettle for a 3-hour shift, you get to be a beacon of hope. I want to share a story with you. I grew up in the Salvation Army. I used to do the kettles with a friend of mine. And one time we decided we were at an outside station and we, in our early teens, were going to sing Christmas carols for the full 3 hours, like no break. We both show up, we have a Santa hat on, we have our jackets on, and we are excited, and both of us forgot lyric books. Now, we know most of the lyrics to Christmas songs, but there are some lyrics and songs that we just don't know as well. So we got to songs like Good King Wenceslas Looked Out, and we would go, Good King Wenceslas looked out, and we would just lose the words. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, especially with that song, who doesn't know the words. But we still sang, and we laughed, and we smiled, and it was just an incredible, joyous time. Halfway through our kettle time slot, a older gentleman came up to us and actually gave us both cups of hot chocolate. And he shared with us that it had been one of the toughest weeks he has had in a really long time. And just watching us have fun and be joyful and say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays to people that pass, sharing that joy and sharing that hope made his day. Now, I can't guarantee that you're going to get free hot chocolate. But when you have the opportunity to make eye contact with people, to smile, to wish them a good day, you actually don't know if that's the first smile that they've seen today. I know we have to wear masks, but a mask can't cover up joy. And a mask can't cover up a wishing of Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or a good day. That fabric can only do so much. You get to give hope by just standing there and welcoming people into hope. That's sharing hope. So I did a little math for you, and I hate math. Let's just clarify that. But I did a little math. So kettle shifts go from November 20th to December 24th. That's 33 days, okay? So here's the math. One kettle shift is 3 hours. If you take one kettle shift for those 33 days, did you know that that is 0.37% of your time? That's not even a full percent. In fact, it takes 3 kettle shifts to get to a full percent, like 1.1% of your time in 33 days. Are you willing to give up 0.3% this Christmas to give hope to someone else? Is that something that you're willing to sacrifice? We hope that you join us this season as we strive to give hope where hope has been lost. And I hope that you join us as we finish strong for 2020. Thank you so much. God bless and have a great day.
Greetings. I'm Major Robin Boros. Along with my wife Yvonne Boros, we are the executive directors and core officers of the Salvation Army Nanaimo Ministries. I would like to thank Lieutenant Colonel Jamie Braun, the Salvation Army British Columbia Divisional Commander, Mr. Paul Manley, Member of Parliament, the Honorable Leonard Krogh, Mayor of Nanaimo, and of course our speaker, Jen Van Steenenbergen, for their presentations. I'd also like to thank you for helping us help so many people in our community. From the very start of this global pandemic, the Salvation Army has been active, feeding hundreds of people every day, giving out clothing, providing counseling, providing hope to the most vulnerable in our community. In fact, need for our services has increased some 30% over the past few months. This year, the Salvation Army is facing further challenges in our Kettle campaign. There will be fewer kettles out due to, of course, social distancing and safety protocols that have been put in place. So more than ever, we are relying on you, our valuable donor, to make a donation at the kettles that you do see in the community and to send your donation to us through the mail or call us and we can receive your donation over the telephone. Please help us to help others to find and see hope in their lives. We often say that need knows no season. It's year-round. Well, this is especially true in these days of uncertainty. So thank you for your support this year, and God bless.